Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I want to talk today about using your freedom after narcissistic abuse. You might not be at this stage yet, you may have been, or you may have left these cycles but not fully been free. Maybe you've repeated them or still got these kind of enmeshments going on with the narcissists in your life or that you had in your life, or still not fully coming into your bloom, right? One of my clients once wrote to me, one of the best, I mean, I have people write lovely things, but she said to me, because she was having a lot of different things physically at the time, she said, "You helped me bloom where I was," right? Most of us don't know how to flourish and bloom, right? So when you get your freedom, say if you've just left a narcissist, and I coach people who are at all different stages of this. Some of them might not have been, some of them have been in long distance relationships, and by the way, they can still be really, really affected, right? It's not a proximity thing, as in physical proximity. A lot of this happens psychically. Some of them have been married for decades, all sorts of spectrums of this. Some people are well versed in personal development and healing, some aren't, right? So all different spectrums, all different levels, and it's not like, it's something to understand about transitions, right? Now, if you had not been narcissistically abused, people still struggle with transitions. Transitions being maybe the loss of a parent or a loved one. Transition being retirement, change of career, job loss or new job, a new family, going from being a parent to an empty nester. All of these stages of life, right, are challenging for people. So first of all, I just want you to know that, like, when your life has been about something, right, and if you've been in a narcissistic cycle, you can guarantee that your life will have been more about them than about you, and you'd have had to bend and shape yourself out of shape to accommodate them. Especially if you're in a partnership with them, a lot of your life would have been limited. Whether you think it or not, some people, they kind of cohabit with a narcissist and they kid themselves and go, well, it doesn't really affect you. Yes, it does, because your dream would have, well, if you're here, I imagine your dream would have been to have a connected relationship, to retire together, to grow old beautifully, you know, not just to live as separate people. So it does affect us because it affects our dreams, and transitions are always something that we have to learn skills for as a human being, right? To help us transition comfortably and gracefully and happily, right? As happily as we can. So a lot of the time when you first get your freedom from the narcissist, it won't feel like freedom. It will feel like shock and fear. Why? Because you haven't filled up on your life yet. You don't quite know what your new rhythm is. It's new. And when the brain sees unfamiliar, new, it panics. Yeah? Just because the brain's there to say, you know, the brain is kind of the voice of doom, but it's not meant to be. It's the one that's going like, have you thought of this? And this could go wrong. It's just to keep you risk aware. It's not the truth. It's just like everything that you could be scared of being sort of brought to your attention. And then it can feel like this kind of void. It's not a void, but it can feel a bit empty because you don't know who you are in the new circumstance, which could be your freedom, right? So when we get like growth orientated into our personal development, into our personal growth, into like learning new skills of who we could be, into our own evolution and growth, then we transition a lot easier, because we're growth orientated, right? And like the first way to start with that is to get clear on what you want to feel and be true to yourself, right? Because when I'm true to myself, I'm very clear on the quality of life. Get clear on the quality of life you want to experience. Then things are very simple. Most people don't think what they want is available to them. So not because it's not, just because we've got stories. You might feel like you're too damaged. You might feel like you're too old. You might feel like a number of things. And like, then we get externally focused and we go, well, I would only be happy if I had X amount of money, and if this didn't happen in my life, and if blah, 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 and if the whole world changed, and you know, and that's not the truth, right? All that means is, in order to personally develop and grow, I've got to learn how to, once you're healed, by the way, from PTSD and trauma, regulate an emotional experience in my life primarily, which means that I give myself what I need every day. And like, you know, so let me explain what that looks like, because it's part of my concept that I teach in Sovereign about self-partnering, right? But like, it means that what do I really need? Yeah? What do I really need? Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's to comfort myself. Sometimes it's to take a break. Sometimes it's to just egg myself on a bit. Sometimes it's just to process my anger. Sometimes it's to really let myself feel and heal a few things, right? But like what I learned from having nothing at various times was that we always think, well, what I need is related to what I haven't got. When actually you're an energetic and emotional being, you can always give yourself what you need. I realized this. I could always give myself what I needed. Sometimes it was my own personal hug. Because what you're seeking in other people, or from money or from things, right? You can have all the money and all the things as well. But what I'm saying is we often say, well, I would relax if my headache went away, and if I could have a spa day, and if I didn't have to work, and if someone paid my bills, and if something outside of me. But in that overwhelm, what do I really need? I need to take a minute. I need to ground. I need to remind my inner child that it's okay, that we'll be okay. Yeah? I need to sit with myself. I need to take a breath. I need to go and like punch a cushion and get really angry because I'm really fucking angry inside. I need to listen to some rap, heavy music and rage for a minute, right? So I get this out of my body. I need, you know, a lot of the time we actually don't understand what we need because we haven't been used to self-parenting, which is the same really as self-partnering. And so we think we need something so complicated or so outside of our thing to feel something, but all you want to do is feel better. So when we learn how to be able to regulate our emotions and then cultivate an emotional experience that we want, one, we can then manifest from there, and two, we're not doing everything out of desperation, lack and need, because how you function in the narcissistic relationship is a lot of the time around the narcissist emotional state, what they're doing, and then your reaction. It's a whole reaction situation. It's not a proactive, intentional cultivation of life. Now, to be a really good, I mean, we're always manifesting, by the way. You just might not be manifesting what you want. And so to be a like really good manifester, we've got to be very intentional on how we cultivate our emotional state and align that with the intent of what we want to experience and receive. Otherwise, we just keep creating more of the same. In fact, you're not actually repeating anything in life. You are actually continuously, so not consciously, manifesting the same shit every day. That's the crazy thing. We actually manifest the same experiences over and over again and think, why doesn't anything change? Because we haven't understood how to embody conscious manifestation, which is aligning our thoughts, beliefs, actions and energy with actually what we want to experience. Which starts with knowing what that is, clarity over what that is, which can only come from a regulated nervous system, and telling ourselves the truth. Most of us want to jump right back into an illusion. You know, when we first get our freedom, it can feel scary, and then we want to go back into like, well, the narcissist can change, and I can handle the narcissist, and I've got skills now, and I'm stronger. Oh, I did all that, and it doesn't work. In fact, you just get annihilated, and you con yourself all the time, right? Because we're scared. What do I really need? I'm scared. I'm scared of being on my own. I'm scared that no one will ever love me again. I'm scared that I won't be able to do this right. I'm scared that I'm not able to be that independent. I'm scared. What do I need? Yeah? I'm scared. What would you do with a kid that was scared? We're going to be okay. We'll figure it out. It's scary, right? It's all right. It's scary. You know, we self-partner rather than react and go, right, this emotion that I can't process, I'm choosing not to sometimes. If you work with me, I'll teach you how to do all this. But like, you know, it's like, I'm reacting because I can't process my emotion. Most of us spend money not all our money, but a lot of our money to pacify an emotion that we can't regulate. Yeah, we binge spend, or we spend on things to make us feel better, right? Whereas when you're regulated, you don't do that anymore. We eat food and binge on things and use things. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. A lot of human beings do this, but we're pacifying our emotions rather than self-partner. When you self-partner, you're very balanced, because it's like, you choose in what you have. You choose what you put in your body. You choose You're choosing the whole thing. You're not doing it because you can't cope with an emotional response. But a lot of us don't see that's what we do. But if you actually look at your patterning, that's what it is. So freedom, when you first get it, can feel like fear. Okay, now what? Right? It doesn't mean you've made the wrong choice. It does not mean you can't handle it. It just means you don't know yourself yet, free from all the shit. You don't know what peace feels like because you haven't lived it for a long time if you've been in these cycles. You don't know if you're going to be able to build something healthy. But guess what? You can always be committed to finding out how, right? When we choose our personal growth, it's like, I want healthy relationships. I know that hasn't been my life experience. I'm willing to do the work to learn. Yeah, there's books, there's teachers, there's guides, there's coaches, there's therapists, there's all sorts of things that you can do. But if we look at everything like, gosh, now I've got to learn how to do this, another thing, rather than being excited for our life, because guess what? You've got the potential to have love in your life. Guess what? You've got the potential to be much more abundant than you are right now. Guess what? You've got the potential to heal your body. Guess what? You've got the potential to have a much greater life. You don't know how to do it yet, so what? We don't know how to do a lot of things until we try. But it's not a big hassle to choose yourself. This is where we've got to stop. I did one on why we feel like a burden in the abuse cycle. But we seem to think that someone else, because we haven't learned to parent ourselves, right? We put the responsibility on other people, and we think, I shouldn't have to spend my money on that. I shouldn't have to heal myself. You are your own parent. If it was your kid, you would 100% get them the help they needed. If it was your child, you would 100%, you know what I mean? Do what it took to give them the best life. We've got to parent ourselves. Anytime we don't want to do that, we've got to heal the inner child stuff. We've got to heal our parenting wound. And remember that, we're our number one asset, right? Our job is to give ourselves our best life and to stop attaching to unhealthy people that can't give us what we need and want. In fact, we are inbuilt machines, able to emotionally give ourselves every day what we want and need, which sometimes is a hug. Sometimes it's to go, don't worry. Sometimes it's to take a breath. Sometimes it's to politely tell someone else to F off because we can't deal with them today, because we've got to be with ourselves, because we've got to take care of ourselves, because we are our number one. You've got to parent yourself, right, to have a good life. And from there, you can then literally walk yourself all the way to everything you want and learn along the way and make that an exciting adventure, rather than, oh, gosh, I have got a faulty machine and I've got to fix it. You haven't got to fix anything. This is about a relationship with ourselves, right? I teach that too. Self-focusing is about self-relationship. I have a relationship with my inner child. I do a beautiful meditation in Sovereign where we start building relationship with our inner child, not forcing them to love us right now. Having a true relationship is allowing us to be where we are, including ourselves. Yeah, I'm not fully okay with myself right now, but I still deserve love, right? That's okay. So what am I going to do to grow myself? I'm going to be self-aware. I'm not going to walk away from what I want because I'm expecting me to be perfect, or I think it's such a hassle. I'm going to make this journey exciting. I'm going to make loving me, knowing me, the most beautiful accomplishment of my life. What if you start from there? What would you do from there? Right? But I'm not my biggest problem to fix. I'm my masterpiece to create. My relationship with myself will be the masterpiece of my life, the best one I've ever done. What if you start from there? Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.